Hi, welcome to Clover's Corner. I'm Talia and we've got a new episode today. Finally, it's been like 2 months. I almost died recently. That's kind of dramatic, but I want to tell you a story. So I have a lot of pinched nerves in my body, and about 2 weeks ago I was in the shower and I moved to the side and I heard a massive pop near my rib. Like I actually thought I broke something for a second. And it was maybe the worst pain I've ever been in, even though I've got a pretty high pain tolerance, but this was really bad. And it was so bad my hearing went for like a good minute. It was like my ears were ringing, intense pain. I got out the shower and thought I was going to throw up or pass out. And then I sat on the edge of the bath to like calm down, and as I stood up I fell over and had I think it's called a vasovagal response. It's like a quick faint from pain or like stress or whatever. And that was so weird. And it keeps making like popping noises. But I think it's fine now. Let's hope, because we don't need to deal with that. I have a lot to talk about today. As you can see by the title, we'll be talking about something kind of sad and serious at the end. So I understand if you don't want to hear about that, you can just not listen to the last bit of the episode. But for now, I want to talk about music, because there's been a lot of good releases lately. And it's been really exciting for pop music. So obviously, Billie Eilish, her new album came out, Hit Me Hard and Soft. There is a rumour going around that there's a second album coming out, so it's going to be like a 2-part album, because she has a song called Elo Milo, and at the end of the album that just came out, it says, when's the next one? I think that's what she says. She's like, when's the next one coming out? So everyone thinks it will be a part 2 album, because this album's only 10 songs, which I love, but everyone always wants more. I still haven't decided if I think this is better than her last album, Happier Than Ever. I think in terms of quality, they're the same, but I don't know which one I prefer. This album's really good. Like, really good. It's pop. It's got some weird, like, techno sounds and things in there that I wish that I could have done. And I'm really impressed, because they said that Billy and Phineas both said that they were struggling to write after the Barbie song came out, or maybe it was even before that, but they were having a real writer's block, and then this came out and you would never have suspected that. It is kind of crazy, their experience though. Like, becoming that successful at a young age must be daunting, because everything you do is compared to the thing you made when you're like 15 or 16. But it's a really good album, and I like how the album artwork kind of copies the end of Happier Than Ever, when she's in the music video and she's like in the water and everything. It's good. And I have seen some really stupid discourse that she's queer baiting because of the song Lunch, even though she's not straight, which is really stupid. People have said that for years though. Something that really surprised me that came out though was Charlie XCX's new album called Brat. Obviously, I know her music. I've never been like a huge fan, but not in a way where I dislike her. I just haven't really paid that much attention. This album came out and I listened to it, and there's not a single skip on the album. It's really good, and it's all like, a lot of it reminds me kind of like club music, but then there's a lot of like things that make me think of Lorde as well. It's really fun, and there is kind of a tribute to Sophie. If you don't know who Sophie is, like I don't really know who she is either. She is a DJ and a singer-songwriter, pop artist, and she died a few years ago, and she collaborated with Charlie XCX a lot, apparently. And so I did my research, and the song So I is a tribute to Sophie, but also all the lyric videos that came out, the flashes on the screen and everything, that's all a tribute to Sophie as well, and the thing she does in her music video. So it's a really sweet song, and the rest of the album is really upbeat and fun, and I think it's really good. Like, it's a banger album, and I'm sure someone will get mad at me for saying this. I like Taylor Swift. I like her. I don't like all of her songs, and I'm not a Swiftie by any means, but I like her. 1989, the album's really good. I don't like the Taylor's version of the album, and I feel like the songwriting's kind of lacking lately. I like a few songs on Midnights, but most of it was kind of haphazard and not great. And then her newest album, I tried to listen to bits of it, and I didn't like it. And the Post Malone collab didn't make any sense, and neither did the Florence Welch one. Like, she didn't really let them shine in either of those things. And it's kind of ridiculous that with all the remakes of the albums and like the extended editions and stuff, it's just putting like the same 10 things on the charts over and over again. And it's just like, there are so many better artists at the moment. I understand why she's popular. She is a good singer and songwriter. But sometimes I feel like she leaves all these Easter eggs for things that don't matter. Like, she leaves all these hints for songs and like all these clues, and then the final result isn't as special as you would hope. I definitely appreciate. I appreciate. Why do I sound weird? I appreciate what she does for younger girls though, and that it's a pop artist that they can relate to, and she plays the guitar and writes her own music and things like that. But she doesn't always hit. Another pop song that came out was Halsey's The End, and it's a really haunting, sad song. She recently came out with a diagnosis of lupus, and she also has, I can't remember what it's called, it's like lymphatic disorder or something. It's like a disorder, a bodily disorder. I'm going to just Google it so I don't embarrass myself. So, Halsey has T-cell lymphoproliferative disorder, if I can pronounce that. So, it's like a lot of other conditions and stuff. Halsey has had a lot of sicknesses and illnesses and stuff throughout her career, and she keeps going. Like, it's really sad to see that she keeps getting sick and having to go through these health scares and things like that. This song, The End, is kind of all about that, and how it's really scary for her and that she's going to keep going. And the way she the way she sings this song, it's haunting. The way her voice kind of sounds like sickly, like it's cracked and like she's been coughing and things like that. I enjoy it because it's like, you know when some music doesn't hold up as well as you thought it did? I'm a Halsey fan, but the first two albums of hers kind of have like this Tumblr nostalgic lens on it, where they're good and they were good for the time, but at the time we were like, this is mind blowing, and it's just like, no, it's just like a pop artist's first album. There's bangers on there, but then every time I hear Colours now, it kind of makes me cringe, because I'm like, everything was blue and I'm red and he doesn't like the colour purple, and it's like all a metaphor, but it's kind of a bit heavy-handed and a bit much. Her last album though, and even most of Manic, I really enjoyed, but her last album, like, having a theme to it and everything, I really enjoyed that. Manic, I loved most of it. I didn't care for the interludes at all, and I didn't care for her collab with Alanis Morissette, which is disappointing because I like Alanis and I like Halsey, but it didn't go together for me. So she should have a new album out soon, I think, which is good. And it's just, I can't imagine how hard it is, because not only is she a pop artist who's sick, but she also has a young son who she goes on tour with. She does all these things with, like, she is, like, number one, a parent. So she's got so much on her plate, she's busy all the time. That feels like a lot of work, a lot of things to do. Speaking of music, I've started to dabble in my own, so I've got the SoundCloud link below. If you would be so inclined to listen, that would really mean a lot to me, because I've spent a long time trying to write a song. It's pretty short for my first go. I want to eventually have 10 songs so I can make like a little album. Tell me what you think. All feedback is helpful, and what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessary. All feedback is welcome, so I'd appreciate it. Okay, if you don't want to hear about sad things, you can leave now and I'll join you on the next one. But something very sad happened recently and I want to talk about. I'm sure I've featured her on this channel before. If I haven't, you've definitely seen her on Instagram. But my dog Blaze passed away on Wednesday. We had to put her down, and it was really sad. I've been through this before, obviously, my other dog Jack, but it never gets easier. It's very painful. So, backstory: for the last 4 years, Blaze has had a lot of allergy issues. She's had really bad hot spots everywhere, and she would get these really bad ear infections. And it was originally one in the other ear, but then it switched, and it was always the same ear every time. And we'd do the steroid shots, the medicated shampoo, the ear drops, everything, and it would work. And then until it didn't. So as soon as the dose was over, within a few weeks, it would all go back. So I did my own research, and I found out that she has a wheat allergy, and she had developed that. So I switched all her dog food, and it really made a difference with her hair quality, and the ear infections, but they would still come back every now and then. And I think the chronic ear infections eventually caused deafness, and I didn't realize she was deaf because she was just very subdued and in her own world anyway, because she had dementia. So if you haven't had a pet with dementia, it's pretty sad. You can there's definitely varying degrees of it, because as dogs get older, they get a little bit less cognitive in their abilities and things like that. Sometimes they just are a bit restless. Like my dog Jack, before he was sick, he wasn't super forgetful or anything like that, but he would just wander every now and then. He'd get a bit restless, but it got really bad for Blaze, so she had some pretty severe symptoms. She had arthritis as well, so every time I tried to take her to the park, people would always be like, that dog looks strange, because it walks around very strange, and she kind of looks like a street dog because all her hair was missing. But, yeah, so she'd walk around very strangely, but then the dementia would make her do a lot of silly things. Like, we have a high-ish back wall, and she used to jump off of it as a puppy, and there was a few times where she would forget she's not a puppy anymore and jump off of it. She was fine, she didn't get hurt, but it was pretty scary for an old dog. And then she also got stuck behind furniture. She got stuck behind the fridge somehow and had many accidents because she was scared. She couldn't sleep inside either because the restlessness of dementia, like sundowning, if you don't know what that is, it's when they get day and night confused and they have a lot of energy at night all of a sudden. It would make her restless, so she'd get up, and then if she was inside, she just wouldn't be able to hold her, and she'd pee and poop everywhere. It was bad. So she had to sleep outside with the laundry door open so that she could go as many times as she needed to go to the toilet. And she did know where food and water is, but you would have to kind of show her where it was, otherwise she'd forget. And she stopped responding to her name. The only time I ever heard her bark after a while was just if Clover was annoying her, but she wouldn't do much. She'd just sleep all day, honestly. So with the hot spots, even when she doesn't have them, she's kind of starting to develop them because she's always itching no matter what. We thought that's what it was. Last year when she scratched her eye, she had a major staph infection right in the corner of her eye from just constantly itching herself. We did all the drops and everything, and then over the past few weeks, she's just been getting worse and worse. So I went outside to let Clover out in the middle of the night, and she's running around circles really fast, which is a common dementia trait. And the only time you'd see her is if she was sleeping, really. She didn't do much. And then I'll post a photo here. It is a bit much, but hopefully that's okay. She started ripping her hair out. Even when she wasn't itchy, she'd just pull it out, which was quite sad. And so we thought it was the best thing to do. And when we went to the vet, they said we can keep trying with these things, but as she's a month shy of 16, it'd be a kind of thing to say goodbye. So if you haven't gone through putting a pet down before, I'll explain the process. You go in and you get assessed by the vet, and then they take your dog away and put a catheter in it, or your cat, whatever pet it is. They put a catheter in, they bring your pet back, and you sign a form to say that you consent to what's going on. And then you hold your dog, and they put, IV I don't know, sorry, the medicine or whatever it is in the syringe, and your dog goes away peacefully. It is very peaceful in my experience. I know other people have had not so great experiences. For me, it was very calm and peaceful, and I don't know if this was like an anxiety response, but she did wave at us when she went to go put the catheter in. The blaze went like this with her paw, was like flapping it. It was very strange, but then she just was standing up and then she just curled into a little ball, and yeah. It's sad, but it's a nice thing to do, because it's really hard to watch your pet suffer when you can't do anything, so yeah. If you are unsure if it is the right time for you, you can Google quality of life spreadsheet for your pet, and it'll take you through some questions, and at the end it should help you make a better decision if it's a better idea to say goodbye or to keep working with treatments and things like that. So yeah, Clover was a bit confused and she didn't like the smell of us when we came back, and she has sniffed Blaze's photo with the paw print a few times, but I think she's okay for the most part. She gets a little sad and like confused every now and then, but she's not depressed by any means. She's still playing with her ball. She had her boyfriend over last night, so she's fine and happy. So that's what I've been up to lately. That's kind of all I wanted to talk about today, was music and my dog. So if you've got a pet, please give them a hug for me, because it's sad and I miss my dogs a lot, both of them. So thank you for watching and listening to this episode. Feel free to subscribe and hit notifications for my next video. I'll see you next time. Bye!